All right, so while my wife is running some errands real quick, I've got a few minutes, and I'm going to do a little celebration. Now, if you are familiar with famed American psychopath Thomas Edison, he once electrocuted an elephant named Topsy, I don't know, for some reason to do with electricity. That's not important. The important thing is, as you can see right here, I've got my fish finder on. I'm recording right now with an electrical hookup on the GoPro. I have electrified this boat, and in celebration of this, just like Thomas Edison, I am going to test the battery out on a live subject here. Now, I will say I don't think this is going to be enough like juice to seriously injure Gidget here, but you know, it's just a fun way to celebrate this, right? I mean, that's what you do when you got a great invention or a great, you know, thing. You find something to electrocute. So that's what I'm going to do here today. So let's get this done before my wife gets back. Oh shit. No. What? What? No.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Not doing anything.
Are you trying to electrocute Gidget?
No. No.
Well, then why do you have those clamps in your hand? Are they on?
No.
They're not on.
No, they're not on.
So you just put Gidget in tinfoil with clearly clamps on her back, clamps in your hands, but that's not on. Touch yourself with it.
No.
Well, if it's not on, what difference does it make?
No, it's
No, go ahead, touch yourself with them.
Okay.
A little nipple.
No, I'm not doing that.
Just a little.
Oh yeah, that wasn't on. See, I told you this whole time it wasn't on.
If it wasn't on, you just pissed your pants.
Oh. All right, back again for some more DIY Bite FD stuff. Okay, so here you go. I'm going to wire a fish finder. Wire my fish finder permanently inside the Bite FD, and because I found that I really just don't like swapping it between boats anyway. Originally, I had a portable system built into the battery box. You can see a link to that video there. But you can see right here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the transducer scupper mount location for the Bite FD, and I'm going to permanently wire that in. Now my plan is going to be to build, first of all, the little scupper mount system that I'm going to use. Jackson sells one as well. My local kayak shop, OKC Kayaks, did not have one in stock, and so I'm just going to make one real quick because it looks pretty easy. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to run the transducer wire up into here, which you can see now because I've got my patch right there. I can wire internally for my battery system, and then I'm going to have the wire come out. Follow with me. Come out, come out, come out. Right about up in here. And then I think I'm going to mount my fish finder screen unit right there. So instead of having like wires come directly from here all the way up to there, I'm going to have it come back and route back here and then come up through the side and come up here. And you may be like, well, that is dumb. Why would you do that? First of all, shut up, okay? Just shut up. Shut up. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good question. Like, legitimately, it's a weird thing to do. But what I like to use this underseat storage area right here, you know, for like sliding stuff in and out. And what I want to do is have this cable kind of run in here along these grooves. and then run back. That way I can still use storage underneath the seat. If I had this running just like over to the side, it would be running up over the top of these ridges here, and it would just be kind of weird. But I think by kind of coming up this thing right here and then running along that channel, that water channel, I think it's going to be a much cleaner install, and then I won't have that wire getting in the way as I'm like sliding stuff in and out underneath my seat. So there, is that a good enough answer for you? Jesus Christ, you guys are so picky. Damn it. Those are good questions. They're stupid questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little plastic disc, and I'm going to use that by using this hole saw from a drill bit, or for a drill attachment. And this is a, let's see, it's a 2 1/8. And that seems to fit in that area pretty well. I think like a 2 1/2 would be perfect, or maybe like a 2 3/8, something like that. But I've already got this one, and these are like $12. So we're just going to make this one work, okay? Anyway, you'll see what I'm going to do with it here in a second. All right, here we go. Probably dumb, but I'm going to try to drill this one-handed. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, let's try this. Okay. Is that right? Yeah, that's good. There we go. All right, cicadas and trains, perfect for making videos. Okay, you can see right here, there you go, I've made my little disc. It fits okay in there. It's not too tall. Yay. All right, let me show you the next step in this process. All right, so the next thing I'm doing, I just took that plug that I had right there. You can see right there, there's the hole. I've got it gripped up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a hole like right there. And the reason why I'm gonna do that is because I want to give this like kind of like a little cutting path, so that I could cut a channel. I'm going to run a bungee up through this hole that I originally drilled to make the plug. And then I'm also going to run a second bungee over here in addition to the transducer cable. So you'll see here in just a second, I kind of make a little slot basically for that cable to fit in. Just drilled a couple of holes. I'm going to use my Dremel now to clean that up, and you'll see the little slot cut out. All right, there you can see I just used a little metal cutting wheel. It works really well for this type of plastic, and you can see here I have cut a channel now, and that will allow that second bungee and then also the transducer cable. Focus, you bastard. There we go. Then you can also see that'll allow that transducer cable and the second bungee to run through there. Sweet. So right here, you can see the scupper cover, the transducer cover right there that fits underneath the transducer scupper. There you go. I'm just going to pull that off with screws, and then we're going to start running our cabling up. Get in that thing. Okay.
What's the problem?
The bungee's too big. I'm going to have to use a smaller bungee.
Alright, switching to a smaller bungee.
Switching to a smaller bungee. Pull up on that. Both of them actually.
Both?
Yeah. All right, so you can see I fished the transducer up into place there. And what I'm going to do now is start drilling a hole for my cabling to run inside the hole, inside the battery box. So for this, I'm going to be using the Hobie, their little through hole system that they've got, waterproofing system. And these take a 1-inch diameter bit, so that's why I've got this already chucked up here. So just going to position it, make sure it's where I want it to be. For this through hole system here that Hobie makes, number one, you've got to, as you're threading it in, you've got to make sure that your rubber washer is on that side, and then your backing ring on the other side, you've got to thread that through the end that you pulled through. So you've got to run that up and then back through, and you'll back it up to the plug this way. Yes, it'll fit. Get that wedged in there.
You know what Tupperwares and sea lions have in common?
I don't know, man.
They both like a tight seal.
Oh, hey-oh! Okay, so for the through hole system, there are basically numerous plugs you can get. Some with like 2 holes, some with none, some with just 1 hole. And so I've got this one that is the right size for this cable. Now you just kind of take it and force it up inside the plug.
That's a lot of force, bro.
It is. That's how it gets the. Supposedly gets the tight seal with this thing, man.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Okay, so one thing I didn't show very well the other night was how I did this little plug right here. You can see that, you know, I did pull up the other side of that cable, and what it does is it kind of crosses over the transducer wire, and so that basically allows the transducer wire to, you know, to stay flush, you know, against the top there, because it's got that pressure of the other bungee on there. So you just pull both those bungees up, and then I just did a simple overhand knot to finish it off. As you can see, that transducer runs up into that hole and then into this hole, and that comes out, and that's going to go to the head unit for my Raymarine. One quick note too on where I'm going to mount the fish finder head unit. I'm actually putting this like right here. As you can see where this is at, that is the end, the last little cover they have for the top run rudder rod system. And all I did, man, was just drill a 1/4 inch hole right up through there, and a T-bolt snugs up into this ridge perfectly. So, I mean, this is basically like a free track mount they give you, because if you put a hole in this, and it's not like this needs to be waterproof for any reason, so if you put a hole in this and run your mounting ball up, you've got a good mount right there. The thing I like about it in this position is, you know, I should be able to like see it really easily. If I have to mess with it at all, it's just going to be right there. So it's going to be real, I think, convenient and easy on the eyes. Should be able to get a little more detail out of what I can see on it as well, since I'm not looking at it all the way up here where I used to have it mounted before. Okay, so what I didn't show you on video was I did drill a hole for this plug, and instead of using the spade bit like I used before, I did go ahead and ponied up the money and used the key saw drill bit attachment instead for 1 1/8 inch, and this worked much cleaner, much better. So I would highly recommend, if you're drilling into your boat, use one of these if you have to make a big hole instead of those spade tips. This just worked much better. But besides that, so what I've done is I've run my DC or my USB charging port in there, and as you can see, I've got my length of my hose, or the length of my wire, excuse me, that needs to run all the way to the back. And so what I'm going to use for this is this right here. This is like a fish tool that electricians use, and I've already got this unwound here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, the tip of the fish tool, and then I'm going to tape the cigarette plug that's going to use to power that USB charger. And I'm just going to tape this on the end. Excuse me, I'm just going to tape this on the end right here, just enough so that I can kind of use this to guide it back. And now I'm just going to run this through. you go. Now you can successfully run from the front of the boat to the back. And those fish tools are only about, I think they're about 15, 20 bucks. And I like using them better than like the rods that you put together to run it through, because sometimes those can be cumbersome inside a hole. But this is just really, it's flexible. It'll kind of get around stuff a little bit easier. And it's usually got enough stiffness to like put that wire through. And they're a little more compact as well. So I think that's like a super handy tool. All right, so as you can see, fish finder unit is powered up. DC, or excuse me, USB, I keep saying DC. It's a USB outlet up front. That is humming as well. So looky here, we've got ourselves a fully functional boat rig, boat wiring setup here. One thing I am going to do with this is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to tuck this, of course, like when I'm storing it, it's going to be inside the hatch down here. So I'm going to tuck it up underneath here. So I'm going to put some Velcro to attach it in place. And then the other thing you'll see me do is just cable cleanup. I'm going to get this cable kind of wound up and tucked away. And then up here as well, I'm going to clean those cables up, do what I can to kind of clean this up down here along this little pathway as well. But that is a functional mod right here for the Bite FD. Internal wiring, more or less, for a fish finder unit and battery setup. Pretty cool.